Hi, it's Morgan Dudley. I play Ella in Descendants: The Rise of Red, and welcome to Young Entertainment. I'm so excited to be FaceTiming you.
So excited to be FaceTiming you too. Thanks for taking the time. So just the first thing we have is, I know you have a few roles under your belt. Is there anything that you do, like do you have a get ready with me routine before any audition, or is there one thing you do every single time to prepare?
Oh my gosh. It's less of a get ready routine and a more of like hyping myself up routine. And that's to listen to the song Champ by Nelly. Like anytime I'm feeling nervous, I'm just like, today is the day. Cause it's just so inspiring. And me and my mom blast in the car all the time. So
I love
yeah.
that. Amazing. And going into the Descendants: The Rise of the Red or The Rise of Red audition, did you know anything about the film before going in, or had you watched the previous Descendants movies?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was a huge fan of the franchise. I mean, like, I was absolutely obsessed with Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson as a kid. I loved the music. I love Kenny Ortega. So when I first got the initial Descendants audition, I freaked out. I was like, no way. No way. Like I love musicals. I love Disney. I love all encompassing those things.
Amazing. Yeah, also a huge fan of the movie. So when I found out I was doing this interview, I was like, that's amazing. I'm so excited.
Oh my God, I love that.
And then so you go through this audition process. Do you remember where you were when you found out that you got the role, and just, what was that moment like?
Yeah, I was out eating ramen with my two best friends. Their names are James and Audie. And like I got a call from my agent and my mom in a group FaceTime. And we had kind of been like talking about it. Like it was in talks that it was getting closer and closer and closer. So I knew. I was like, they're calling me for a reason. And I stepped outside and my mom was crying. And I was like, I got it. I got it. Okay, we're good. And so I like ran back in the ramen shop and told my friends, and they were like, oh my gosh, it was amazing.
That must have been so special just to have like your mom on the call and then like be with your friends while you found out. That must have been so
It
cool.
was. I felt so surrounded by love. It was
Mhm.
just the sweetest thing.
That's amazing. And then so going into the project, while filming, was there any, certain challenges that you experienced while filming, and how did you overcome them?
I think the biggest challenge for me was just like, getting used to such a large set. I mean, like Descendants is just a huge franchise and there's so many fans and like you just don't want to disappoint or let anybody down. So I was just really kind of just trying to acclimate to my environment and be like, you know what? I know this all seems very big, it's very bright, it's very colorful, there's a lot of music, but just remembering to ground myself and like have fun during the process and just, play like we're kids.
Yeah. And kind of
Yeah.
going off of that, maybe it's a similar answer, but what was one first for you on this project? What's the one thing that it was the first time you've, ever done that on a set?
Oh, I mean, like, it was a really small one, but it was the first time that I did like a stunt, like a little stunt. I don't have a huge stunt in the movie, but even
Uh-huh.
like seeing other people do their stunts and like the harness and all that, like,
Yeah.
I've never done that before. So that was cool.
Did you have like a stunt trainer or stunt doubles like helping
Yeah,
out?
there was part where Ella is trying to chase down, like Bridget is getting chased by Uliana as a flamingo, and Ella's trying to go get her off the fountain. And so that was a whole like choreographed thing where we had to make sure that no one was getting hurt. And I was getting Ruby Rose Turner, who plays Bridget, off of the fountain safely in her little heels. So yeah, we practiced that a bunch and it was just a lot of fun.
That's very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that,
Yeah,
when the film comes out. Cool.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Cool. And so going off of that, kind of changing directions a little bit, this is a two-part question. Do you know Crafty, like the craft services table, um,
Yes.
on set? Do you have like a go-to snack when you're there?
Very familiar with crafty, but I think my go-to snack is whatever the hot snack is. So, like hot snack is when they like freshly make a little like pinwheel or like a little sandwich or whatever. I don't care what hot snack is, I want it. And I want to eat it right then. And I get so sometimes I miss hot snack in the past and I'm just like, no, like, do they have any more? And they're like, gotta wait for the next hot snack. But
That's
no, I
funny.
love those.
That's really cool. And so when the film comes out, for audiences watching, what would you recommend, people eat or, drink while, when they're watching the film for the first time?
I think it'd be really cool if there was like some kettle corn snacks with white chocolate that are like dyed with food coloring for like the reds, the blues, the pinks, like maybe some punch. I think like it's such a colorful movie. Like anything you can color coordinate, that'd be a cool snack.
I think that's what I'm gonna have to do now. I don't even know how to make that happen, but I feel like we
Yeah,
happen.
food
Amazing.
coloring's your best friend.
Yeah, and kind of going off of the colors, I know your character sports kind of that blue, aqua, like tealish wig in the film. How does hair and makeup help you get into character, and like what kind of role does that play?
Oh my gosh. Well, I know for Ella's wig specifically, I would always talk about how it made me feel like an 80s mom because the bang and like sometimes it would kind of resemble a mullet. And I was really like, I just had like all these pockets and this patchwork and I felt grounded. I was like, yeah, like I could get some yard work done in this, you know? It just really put me in the mindset of a worker.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And so kind of transitioning away from that as well, we had to ask you, working with the iconic and legendary Brandy, as well as Rita Ora in this film, what was it like working with them, and did you take any acting tips away from either of them?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, Brandy just has such a gentle aura and a princessy, like genuinely, she is a real life princess to me. So I feel like just watching her move and like taking that for my character Ella, because Ella is a bit more blunt. She's a teenager. She has like a little bit more sass to her, but I always looked at Brandy and just the aura she gave and like wanted to capture that as well.
Mhm.
But Rita Ora, she is such a fiery presence. She's literally perfect for the Queen of Hearts. Um, her character is obviously very starkly different from the character that I have to play, but just watching her tap in and be so committed to the role was very inspiring to me.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Amazing. I'm big fans of both, so that must have been so cool, seeing
Yeah.
different things and then getting to work with them. That's awesome.
Yeah. Especially just both of them being music artists, like being a music artist is something I want to do myself. And so seeing them in similar, like in the same space as me, I'm like, oh, I see y'all. Okay, y'all know how to tap in too. I feel like that's a part of it.
Did you learn like any, music or songwriting or, singing tips from them too?
From From them, I didn't know how to ask, but I don't
That
know.
must have been that must
Maybe
have
in the
been fun.
future,
Yeah,
maybe I'll need to
definitely,
give myself a little push and go do
definitely.
it.
That'd be cool. Cool. And
Yeah.
then, so I know you mentioned before, you watched Disney growing up. Did you have a favorite Disney princess?
Oh my gosh, this is hard actually, because my favorite Disney movie was Bambi, so I like
No
always watch
princesses in that.
Bambi.
Yeah.
But Disney princess, I always loved watching Mulan.
That's a
Just because I loved the warrior aspect of the entire thing. I loved just like how strong and independent and how she broke away from the molds that like were taught to her and were expected of her. I thought that was really cool as a kid.
Well, were you able to see the new one? It was a live action one, right?
Yes, I did not watch the new Mulan.
But definitely want to.
Yeah, okay, cool. We'll have to do it together. Who
Exactly.
knows? We'll get a movie night.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Cool. And then going off of that, if you were to live in any of the Disney princesses' palaces, do you know like which one it might be?
My gosh, that's hard.
That is a hard one. I was trying to think of my answer and I couldn't even. I
I
wasn't sure.
mean, I think I'd have to live in Cinderella's castle. Now, as Cinderella, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
probably not the best storyline, but
Like,
yeah.
no, maybe not, but it looks real cute.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
I think that's a good answer. I think I'd probably have the same answer.
Okay, period. It's winning.
Yeah.
I'll meet you there. We'll have like a little house party.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Let's do
guys.
it. Cool. And then kind of moving back to your film, did you have a favorite moment while working on set of Descendants: The Rise of Red?
This one isn't a group one, but I just think it's really special. Was the first time, so Tristan Padil, who plays Prince Charming in our movie, we watched Rogers and Hammersteins because he had never seen it prior. And when he saw Paolo Montalban, who he'd be like playing the younger version of, he said he
Mhm.
became like an instant fan. And watching those two meet for the first time, I did nothing but like record a bunch of videos, like
That's
back here, like somebody's mom to be like, because he just looked, like, so, like, happy and inspired to, like, see another Filipino actor that he looked up to and, like, realizing like how iconic of a role that was at the time. And like, I don't know, it was really special to watch that happen. That was a really cool memory of mine.
That's really amazing. Especially like people you were watching on film like previously and then you get to like work with these people.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so we kind of touched on this, but I just wanted to confirm. So did you get to sing any songs, on set or do any of, use your musical interests?
I did. Yeah. I have a song called Hands Dirty, that I sing with Malia Baker, who plays Chloe. And
Amazing. And
also,
what was that
oh,
experience?
oh yeah. Like first of all, it was just so much fun, like recording the song in the booth. That was the first time I ever recorded a song, was sing that for this movie. I was like, wow, this is really fun. And then also just filming it, we had like this super cute dance and this super cute set with all this like dirt and flowers and props where like, I don't know, it just felt very, we had like a mother-daughter relationship, whether Ella knows it or not. And it was just really cute to bond with Malia that way and also like sing our cute little poppy song.
Amazing. And wait, I think I cut you off when you were talking about the song at first. Was there something else you wanted to add about that?
Oh yeah, also just the group number Life is Sweeter. We also sang in the booth for that to like support Miss Ruby Rose Turner as Bridget. We had some like backing vocals and yeah, that was a lot of fun too.
Cool. And I know you said you like this was your first time like recording in like a sound booth. Um, Going off of that, was there anything different or also different from singing like on a Broadway stage?
So much different. You do not want to use, well, I guess like for the purpose of a movie or for the purpose of just like a soundtrack in that way, you don't need to necessarily use Broadway vocals when the mic is right there. And so there's a couple of times where I was too loud and they're like, oh, you can like soften it. You can
Yeah.
kind of like add your own thing to it. And so now I record my own music, and honestly,
Mhm.
that experience taught me a lot about how to record now, where you can kind of be softer, you can kind of back off a little bit
Mhm.
and add more style.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree that it probably definitely takes like a lot of practice for going from Broadway to then going to a sound booth where it's completely different. There's like no audience, anything like
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah, but it's kind of cool too because you can get like multiple takes and like hear them back and be like, "Oh, like this and this sound good together." Like you can make the best version of the song with different takes of different things, which I thought was really cool. It's like a puzzle that you put together.
Going back to like the Disney part, do you have like a favorite Disney song of all time and the one you would like love to record one day?
Oh my gosh, one that I would love to record. I love Reflection from Mulan. I think that's a beautiful song. I love singing ballads and just like, yeah, it's gorgeous. I would love to record that song one day.
That's awesome. And kind of going back, was there any other funny behind the scenes moments that you can think of and you just like you think of now and you still like makes you laugh?
I can tell you, we all had like this game night party, and I brought a game. It's called Avalon, and it's a lot of fun. I learned it from like a past cast member that I had in a different movie. And
Oh,
it's almost like Werewolf, where you're kind of like trying to figure out like who the bad guys are. And I
okay.
brought this game to like our first big group get together, and I explained the game, whatever. And like immediately when I started playing, I was all in and I was like, "You're lying. You're the bad guy." Da, 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 da. And like a couple of the cast members were so scared. They were like, "Oh my gosh, like you're competitive, you're competitive." And then like the next day, what happened was we had like press like come behind the scenes and stuff. And they were just asking like little cast questions like, "Oh, who do you think this? Who do you think that?" And one of the questions was, "Who do you think is the most competitive?" And everybody said me. And the people came up to me and they were like, "Who do you think is the most competitive?" And I was like, "Did they all say it was me?" And they were like, "Mm-hmm." I was like, "Oh my gosh." Because I was just like, I was so intense when I was playing with them. And they had a lot of fun playing it too. It's like a whole thing of like, Morgan, when are you going to bring Avalon? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like the best bonding game.
Oh, that's so funny. And did you say that was like early on, like when you kind of just like first getting to know them and meet them?
Yeah, it was like our first big group get together, and I brought the fire. I was like, all right,
As you
let's
should
break
though.
the ice. I'm coming for you guys.
I'm sure that helped, as you should. That sounds so fun.
Yeah, it was
Cool.
fun.
So I know Descendants: The Rise of Red is coming out on Disney Plus, and then it's going to be released on Disney channels or Disney Channel. What do you think it is about Disney Channel original movies that make them, so enjoyable to watch?
I think that there's just such a family aspect and a lightness to every Disney movie, no matter what the content is. Like, there's a lot of depth and there's a lot of lesson learning, but at the end of the day, it fills you with this kind of hope and levity, and all ages can watch it and enjoy it. And of course, like half of them are musicals too, which I'm a
Of course.
musical person, so
I,
I'm gonna give the points for that. But
oh yeah, I am as
yeah,
well. I absolutely love musicals, so
I love that.
I still
Thank
love.
you.
Yeah, I still love to watch like
There's
Disney Channel movies like to this day.
Me too. They're like DComs are just they're just so special. I love them.
Oh
Still.
yeah, definitely.
Timeless, I'd say.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And so after filming this project, is there one thing that'll stay with you from this experience that, you plan to take with you, on future projects and just your acting journey in general?
Yeah, just having fun. This was like the most fun set that I've worked on ever. It was the most fun group of people, and like it just made me really realize like how much the people you're surrounded by make the experience that much better. And so I always just want to carry that with me and being that person, and like just bringing that kind of joy to any set I go on in the future.
That's amazing. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So a couple more questions for you. I know you mentioned the Rodgers and Hammerstein's version of Cinderella that Brandy was also in. Have you watched that before?
Yeah, I watched it in middle school. One of my friends at the time, her name's Kennedy. Hi, Kennedy. She introduced me to that movie, and I remember we were like that at the TV, just like watching Brandy and Whitney Houston absolutely slay, and Paolo,
Oh,
our prince. And so, yeah, I was so just absolutely floored to learn that those two were gonna be in this movie too. I was like, no way. I remember watching that with
yeah.
Kennedy. So
So
yeah,
cool.
I
Like,
love that movie.
were there any, like, specific takeaways that you had, like, watching it in middle school that you were like that you kinda, like that brought back those memories, like, now when you first got this role in Descendants?
I think when I was in middle school, I was just so you're a kid, you're just like absorbing information on a very subconscious level. So there wasn't any like, oh, forefront, like I took this away. But I just remember like feeling so seen and beautiful because back then, like, there really wasn't a lot of representation for girls who looked like me in these types of roles. And that was the first time that I really got to experience that, like the rest of the people that I grew around. And so I think it was just like, oh, I can be a princess too.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And so one more question before we just go into a couple, like, rapid fire questions. My producer wanted me to ask, so there's actually this video, I'm not sure if you're familiar, like, Whitney Houston and Brandy working on the song "Impossible" from, the Cinderella movie. Do you know anything about that video?
Yes, is when they're both in the recording booth and,
Yeah,
like
yeah, and then, I think there's one part where Whitney says to Brandy, "Why are you down there?" Because she was, like, using, like, a lower range, like, vocal range when singing.
oh my gosh. Yeah, I think so, and then she's
I
like,
just
"Well,
watched
I'm
the
singing
video,
next to Whitney Houston," kind of
yeah, for the
thing.
I just like, yeah, I just watched the video for the first time today, but my producer wanted me to ask, what would be going through your mind if Whitney Houston said, that thing to you? Like, why are you down there with, like, using the vocal range?
Oh my gosh, I'd
Like, if
probably,
she
like,
was
freak
giving you, like,
out.
singing tips, yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably be like, "What do you wanna hear from me, Whitney? I'll do
Mhm.
it. I'll do
Okay.
it, whatever you say." Um, I think I would just honestly, fight, flight, or freeze, I'd freeze. I'd be like
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big freezer because it's Whitney Houston. What are you
You're like, "You're
saying?
too stunned to
Like,
speak."
oh, yeah, I think I'd just
Yeah.
be too stunned to speak. I'd be too stunned to speak if Brandy said that to me. And it's so weird, like, it's a full circle moment. I wanna, like, add because I just thought about this while you were saying that. I would love to sing "Impossible" with Brandy. That would be a fun song to
You gotta
record
make that
and
happen.
just, like yeah, it's like a have full circle moment because I look up to her so much, but yeah, like, yeah,
Yeah,
stunned.
I mean, just meeting I guess just meeting for her for the first time, like, on set, like, what was that experience like?
Oh my gosh, it was so quick the first time, like, I have to tell you, I walked in on them singing happy birthday to her. I didn't even know she was there. I was just there to like take pictures at first. So I was walking in, and I come in, they're like, happy birthday to you. I turn, Brandy's in her full Cinderella glam. And then they go, oh, Morgan, here's Brandy. Huh? So I was like, hi. And she was so sweet. She was like, hi, you're so beautiful. Oh my gosh. So like, congratulations. And I was just like, I can't believe that just happened. Why would they spring that on me like that?
Right.
But I saw her another time on set, and she just, again, I was just kind of admiring her from afar, like a creep fan. Like, she's just so gentle.
And it must have been cool because like you like when you said like you were just walking in like you didn't even expect her to be there, and then it's like, whoa, like I have to like
Absolutely
this is
not.
happening now.
Yeah. And I have a video of it actually because Malia Baker, Miss Girl, she recorded. I don't know how she whipped out her phone so fast to record that interaction,
She's
but
like,
she
I gotta
has
get
it.
this
And
one.
yes, you can see my face like
That's
like just like, oh my gosh. But
couple rapid fire questions all about your firsts. So I'm just gonna say like first acting role, and then you just say like what it was like right away. So we'll just kind of do that.
okay.
Okay, so yeah, we'll start off. What was your first acting role?
Renaissance Princess and Henry Danger.
Nice. And what was your first audition?
Julie and the Phantoms on Netflix.
Cool. And
Crazy.
what was your first dream role?
Moon and Once on This Island on Broadway.
Very cool. And what was your first day on your first set?
The Prom on Netflix.
That's a good one. Have you had your first on-screen kiss yet?
No.
Cool. And just final one, what was the first movie or TV show to inspire you to become an actor?
I think the one that actually inspired me to become an actor was Shake It Up.
Love that
I
show.
love Zendaya.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
girl.
for sure.
Hey, it's Morgan Dudley. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to Young Entertainment.